guys, how's it going? Welcome back to my channel, Gardening in Cold Spring Harbor. I hope all of you are staying safe, warm, and most importantly, well. How many of us home gardeners are so sick and tired of spending crazy, abundant amount of money on vegetable and herb transplants at our local garden centers or plant nurseries? With spring here, garden centers, plant nurseries, even our local supermarkets and grocery stores are carrying vegetable and herb transplants, but they're charging an arm and a leg, anywhere starting from $3 for one single transplant and all the way up to as much as $15. That is absolutely crazy and absolutely insane. Us home gardeners can save all this money and use it on other necessary tasks in our home gardens. In today's video, I'm going to cover all the veggies and herbs that are so easy to grow, that we can not only propagate ourselves, that we could sow and grow from seeds in our home garden, so we could save ourselves so much money. So for those of you looking for that online gardening channel, which offers tips, tricks, easy yet proven gardening advice to take your home gardens to that next level, don't go anywhere, guys. Stick around with me today. Start with going below this video and clicking the subscribe button. If you are enjoying the content of my garden videos, if you find my videos to be useful, helpful, informative in absolutely any way, don't be shy, guys. Don't forget to click the bell icon as well. This way YouTube will send you notifications every single time I'll upload a new garden video. Now come with me, let's get gardening. Are you tired of spending crazy money at garden centers and plant nurseries on plants that are super easy to grow from seeds? Why in the world spend this kind of crazy money when those crops will grow from you from seed in the matter of a few days? In today's video, we're going to talk about all the crops you should never buy from transplants at your local garden center. Why? Because they're such easy crops to grow yourself from seed to harvest. So let's get started. With spring season finally here, garden centers, plant nurseries, big box stores, even supermarkets are selling vegetable and herb transplants. So many varieties, so many choices to look at and select from. However, are they worth the price? With prices starting from $4.98 for a single small transplant, or as much as $15.98 for larger size transplants. Why in the world pay so much money, especially for crops that are so easy to grow yourself from seed? The first vegetable which you should never buy from a garden center in the form of a transplant are our cucumbers. You have your straight 8 cucumber, patio perfect cucumber, Japanese cucumbers as well. However, why in the world pay as much as $4.98 for one tiny cucumber transplant? Cucumbers are such an easy vegetable to grow from seeds, and they germinate in as little as 5 days. A pack of cucumber seeds cost as little as $1.69. Can you imagine how many cucumbers you can grow from one packet of seeds versus spending this kind of money on tiny little cucumber transplants? Another crop which we should never purchase in the form of a transplant from a garden center is our spinach. Why? Because spinach is so easy to grow. It grows about anywhere, raised beds, containers, doesn't require that much sunlight either. All you have to do is sprinkle some spinach seeds on the soil of your home garden, water, and watch it grow. Why pay as much as almost $5 for this one tiny little transplant? Another reason never to pay so much money for spinach plant transplant is by the time they are available in your local garden center, the air temperature is way too warm. And look what is happening here. this transplant is starting to bolt and go to flower. So by the time you plant it in the soil of your home garden, you're not going to get the spinach harvest that you were looking to get from the very beginning. Always start your spinach from seed early on, before your last anticipated frost date, as spinach is a cool weather loving plant. The next crop, which is super easy to grow from seed and in fact should never be purchased in the form of a transplant from our local garden center, is corn. You can sow corn seeds directly in the soil of your home garden, or you can start them inside, indoors, in containers or seed starting trays. Why in the world pay as much as $6 for a 6-pack when most of the time you don't even get the 6 transplants that were promised to you? Take a look at this 6-pack, my fellow home gardeners. You could see that some cells are indeed empty. So not all the seeds have even germinated. So they are asking you to pay as much as almost $6 for a promised 6-pack when you don't even get the promised 6 corn transplants. Oh my God. The next set of herbs just makes me so angry to hear that gardeners purchase them in a form of a transplant from a garden center or a plant nursery. Mint. Whether you're growing sweet mint, spearmint, peppermint, doesn't matter. Mint grows like a weed. If you plant it in the soil of your home garden, it will spread like wildfire and take over your entire home garden. Why in the world would you ever pay almost $6 for a measly, tiny mint transplant? Mint is such an easy herb to propagate. All you need is one tiny mint stem. It doesn't have to be large at all. You can go to a neighbor's house, friend's house, and ask for them to cut off one single stem from their mint plant. If you don't have a friend that grows mint in their home garden, go to a supermarket. Purchase one small bunch of mint that you can use for delicious culinary purposes. Take one stem, like so. Peel all of the bottom leaves off. Make sure you leave 3 to 4 leaves at least on the very top. Place the stem in a cup of water, and within a week, this cutting will set root and you can plant it anywhere in the home garden. I recommend you grow mint either in a container or raised garden bed. Otherwise, you will have absolutely no space to plant other plants, as mint spreads below the soil surface, and before you know it, you're going to have more mint than you ever wanted to grow. Just like mint. Why would anyone pay this kind of crazy money for one tiny basil transplant? And most of the time, the transplants are not in perfect condition. Just like mint, basil is such an easy crop to propagate. All you need is a small cutting. If you don't have a fellow home gardener or a neighbor who's currently growing basil plant, you can always buy a small package of basil at your local grocery store or supermarket. You can make so many delicious dishes with basil. However, keep a few cuttings for propagation purposes. All you have to do is break off the upper portion of your basil stem, peel off or remove the bottom leaves, leaving at least 3 to 4 leaves on the upper portion of your stem. Place into a cup of water and leave for about 2 weeks. Within a week and a half to 2 weeks, your basil cutting will start to set roots. When you see enough roots, you can transplant them into the home of your garden, and you can grow your basil in a container, a raised bed, or even directly in the soil of your home garden. Cilantro is one of those herbs that doesn't like to be transplanted. So why pay as much as almost $6 or even as much as $15 for cilantro transplants when you can't transplant them in your home garden anyways, as you risk losing your plants. Cilantro is such an easy herb to grow from seed. All you have to do is sprinkle a few seeds in a container or raised bed or even the soil of your home garden. Keep watering it and watch it grow. Why pay so much money for one cilantro transplant? And cilantro is a cool weather loving crop, so you could sow it right before your last anticipated frost date. And it's going to grow beautifully in your home garden. And you will not risk losing your crop by transplanting it from a container to the soil of your home garden. Here is the next crop that no one should purchase in the form of a transplant from their local garden center or nursery. And that crop is our chives. Chive seeds are small. In fact, they're tiny in sizing, which makes them such an easy plant to sow. You don't even need to bury the seeds as they're that little. Just sprinkle them on the soil of your home garden. Water thoroughly and they'll grow like crazy for you, my fellow home gardeners. In fact, in zones 7 and above, chives are a perennial. All you need to do is cut them down to soil level sometime in mid to late fall and leave them be. Add a little mulch to the upper surface of your soil and they will come back and regrow from you beautifully early spring season. The next herb that no one should pay crazy money for at a garden center or plant nursery is our dill. Dill is not only such an easy herb to grow, it will grow just about anywhere in your home garden, even in a pot or a container. Dill seeds require minimal maintenance or attention. All you have to do is sprinkle them on the soil of your home garden or in a container or a raised garden bed. Water them thoroughly, forget about them. Yet, within a few days, watch them sprout and grow. Dill seeds are small, however, they're very mighty. If you let your dill plant bolt, flower, and go to seed, not only are you going to be enjoying the flavor of dill all season long, you're also going to have your own dill seeds for next season's plantings. So why not grow dill yourself at home from seed and save yourself so much money? For the cost of almost $6, you can have an entire garden full of dill versus one tiny dill transplant. The next crop that is definitely way overpriced at garden centers and plant nurseries is our strawberries. Strawberries are such an easy plant to grow and to propagate. Why in the world pay as much as almost $5 for one small strawberry plant when you can propagate and grow your own? If you have existing strawberry plants growing in the soil of your home garden, or you know a neighbor or friend that has existing strawberry plants growing in their home gardens, all you have to do is cut off a runner. And every single strawberry plant produces runners. Every established strawberry plant produces strawberry runners. What are strawberry runners? They're extensions of the original mother plant. So they are new baby strawberry plants. So instead of cutting them off with pruning shears or scissors and discarding of them, if we cut them off and plant them in the soil with the root system down right over here at this knob, this will grow to be a brand new strawberry plant. Imagine how many plants we can grow at home using our existing strawberry plants, or having our neighbor or dear friends lend us a few of their unneeded strawberry runners. The next crop that should never be purchased from a garden center plant nursery in the form of a transplant, in fact, it should never be sold at a garden center in the form of a transplant, are our carrots. Carrots, just like many other root vegetables, have to be directly sown into the home of your garden. And look how quickly you get to harvest your beautiful carrots in as little as 50 days from sowing to harvest. Carrots are one of those crops that does not tolerate being transplanted, which is why we have to always sow carrot seeds directly in the soil of our home garden. For this 4-cell pack, the asking price is $3.78. But take a look, my fellow home gardeners, you don't even get the amount of transplants that you are promised. 1 cell is empty. And look how the carrot root is already protruding from the soil. So by transplanting these transplants to the soil of your home garden, you're risking damaging the plant altogether. How much is a head of lettuce at a local grocery store or supermarket? Definitely not $14.98. Not $5.98 either, my fellow home gardeners. And I know that we don't pay $4.98 either. So why spend this crazy amount of money on one small individual lettuce transplant? Say you spend $4.98 on one single lettuce transplant, or a high crazy price of $14.98. You bring your lettuce back home. You transplant it in the soil of your home garden. You still have to maintain it, care for it, water it, of course, fertilize it. And once you're ready to harvest, was all the money that you spent on a water bill, on the transplant, on the fertilizer, at the end of the day, at harvest time, is the new price worth it? Lettuce, regardless of the variety, just like Swiss chard, kale, arugula as well. They're such easy crops to sow and grow from seeds. All of them are cool weather loving crops, so you can sow them even before your last anticipated frost date from seeds. A seed packet costs as little as $1.69. Imagine, my fellow home gardeners, how much money you'll be saving yourself that you can use for other gardening expenses. You can grow beds, and the beds, containers, grow bags full of lettuce, full of Swiss chard, arugula, and you can even consecutive sow them every few weeks for continuous yield and harvest. Why pay so much money for one when you can pay $1.69 and get an entire bed, if not multiple beds, full of delicious crops? Squash has to be one of the most popular plants sold at any garden center or a nursery. You have your spaghetti squash, your yellow crookneck squash, black beauty zucchini squash. So many great varieties to look. However, why pay such a high price for one single transplant when there's such an easy crop to grow? Zucchini germinates in as little as 5 to 7 days, and it's ready for transplant. You can grow zucchini in raised beds, containers, or directly in the soil of your home garden. Look how much money you could save when growing zucchini from seeds. Why waste so much money on one transplant when you can grow so many plants from a single seed packet? Why would anyone pay as much as $4.98 for a snap bean or a bush bean single transplant? I grow snap beans, bush beans, string beans every year from seed in my home garden, and I can't think of a single bean seed that hasn't germinated. So it's definitely cheaper and worth it to start and grow your beans at home from seed. They germinate so quickly and they're so easy to grow. Green peas, sugar peas, snap peas. They're such an easy crop to grow. Little kids can plant and grow them. So why ever spend as much as $5 on a pea transplant? Unlike many other crop seeds, pea seeds are quite large in size and easy to handle during planting time. Peas are a cold weather loving crop, and you can plant them before your last anticipated frost date. Just remember to start offering them trellising or support as soon as you see the tiny little pea sprouts. Now, just because not all transplants are worth the cost or the money, that doesn't mean that you shouldn't buy any existing mature transplants from a garden center or a nursery. An example of those crops are those that would require additional timing, additional expenses if we start them from seed at home. Not all of us home gardeners have the proper seed sowing and growing equipment in our homes, such as our grow lights, such as our heat mats. Many warm weather loving crops, such as our peppers, watermelons, our tomatoes, even eggplant, do require that extra tender love and care when sowing and growing them at home from seed. Many of our warm weather loving crops, such as our peppers, tomatoes, eggplants, also need quiet some time, 60 to 80 days inside, indoors, until they're mature enough and ready to be transplanted. So for those of you, my fellow home gardeners, who don't have the proper seed starting equipment, such as a grow light, a heating mat, or maybe you're limited to the amount of space you have in your home to place your seed starting trays, then you should definitely consider getting warm weather loving crops in already of a form of an established transplant from your local garden centers. Gardening is such an enjoying process. However, we always have to think on the back of our minds about the costs, the expenses. We have to think in the long run. What we get to harvest, is it worth the cost? Us home gardeners cannot afford to spend more on transplants, fertilizers, water bills, you name it, then the harvest itself is going to be worth. Why spend so much money on individual single transplants, especially herb transplants that we can easily propagate by borrowing a single cutting from a fellow neighbor, a fellow friend, or those crops that we can purchase from a dollar store seed packet and we can grow and germinate within days. Super easy. And then at the end of the day, we get to use all that extra money on other important necessities, other expenses in our home gardens, other expenses in our homes, and of course other expenses for our families. So in today's video, we spoke about all the vegetables, all the herbs that, in my personal opinion, you shouldn't waste your precious money on to purchase them in a form of a transplant from a local garden center or a plant nursery. Why? Not because I'm telling you where to go or what to spend your money on, but because I think that they're such easy crops to grow. In fact, I don't think, I know. I am sure that all of us fellow home gardeners can grow all of the crops that we spoke about today from seed or a cutting in the matter of short weeks, and we can save ourselves so much money. So for those of you who enjoyed the content of today's video, if you found today's video to be useful, helpful, informative, in absolutely any way, don't be shy, guys. Show me that support by clicking thumbs up below. Leave your comments in the comment section as well. Let me know what crops, what veggies, what herbs have you started so far from cuttings or from seed in your own home garden. Let me know, are there any vegetable or herb transplants that you are indeed planning to buy from your local garden center or a nursery? For those of you, my fellow home gardeners, who have been waiting yet haven't had subscribed to my gardening channel, Gardening Cold Spring Harbor, what are you waiting for? Super easy for you to do, super pleasing and rewarding to me. Just go below this video and click the subscribe button. Don't forget to click the bell icon as well. This way YouTube will send you notifications every single time I'll upload a new garden video. I truly hope that you all enjoyed the content of today's video. I hope that all of you will stay healthy, happy, warm, and most importantly, I wish each and every single one of you to be well. And as I always like to say at the end of every single one of my videos, happy gardening, my fellow home gardeners. Thank you for joining me today, and I'll see you again in my new upcoming gardening videos. Bye, guys.